When I was about 7 years old, I got a Nintendo 64 for Christmas. To this day, it is one of the most special Christmases I've ever had. Opening that box was a dream come true. You've all seen the videos of the Nintendo 64 kid. And I'm sure I was worse. But I have zero recollection of the actual receiving of it because I'm pretty sure I blacked out from excitement. That said, I'm certain my parents have it on tape somewhere hidden deep in the home video VHS pile. June 5th was almost a perfect recreation of that exact same event. I woke up, walked to my front door, and on my doorstep was the Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle, along with a really weird gift from Walmart, not a sponsor, of pizza-flavored Pringles, also not a sponsor, and a Coke, still not a sponsor, with the name Evan on it. I'm now Evan, thank you. But I was stoked. Fast forward over 30 hours later, and I'm still excited to play this game. Let's talk about how we feel about Mario Kart World. This game feels like no other. I mean, front to back, it is a completely different game in the way that it controls. The acrobatics, the charge jump, the way inertia and momentum play a role in how your kart feels as you drive it, it is smooth. Every interaction feels intentional, and I love that about this game. The level of tricking that you can do, going from rail grind to wall ride and back to tires on asphalt, is a thrill. It adds so much to the complexity of how Mario Kart World actually plays. The races in this edition of the franchise feel like absolute free-for-alls, and with World doubling the amount of racers on the track to 24, the chaos is always present. One moment you're flying high in first, and the next a single green shell can send you careening off-road and you're in 20th place. It's frenetic, and has that action that is hard to replicate in most games. Because just as much as you can fall back, if you're careful and skilled, and the game gives you the proper item, you can shoot straight back to first within a heartbeat. There's a lot of rubber banding present here, which has been present in previous releases, but in this one, it feels as if the rubber banding goes both ways, not just in favor of the CPU players. Every course that Mario Kart World has to offer stands out as some of the best in the series. If you've watched our tier list of each course in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you'll remember that we were pretty harsh on the sterility of nearly every course in that game. Sure, there were some standouts among the set like Cloud Top Cruise and Mount Wario, but these courses are on another level. This game turns that on its head and makes almost everything stand out. There really isn't a course I dislike in this set. I do have some early favorites. Faraway Oasis takes you on a safari driving alongside giraffes and elephants. Great Question Block Ruins takes you flying to the stratosphere through a rundown, giant golden question block. And Airship Fortress is an adrenaline-pumping race dodging bullet bills high in the sky. While I do miss the amount of courses like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had, I'm more pleased with the near 30 represented here, and I think narrowing their focus and delivering an interconnected world just made the courses make more sense. I'm hoping recency bias isn't playing a role in my thoughts on this, but I genuinely love every single course. This game introduces something new with the interstitial races between the actual courses. Your first race of any Grand Prix is made up of 3 laps, and every race after starts with a connected track between courses. They show off how connected the world truly is, and while they're a little long in the tooth and reduce the amount of time in an actual course, I wouldn't want to remove them. One specific segment is among my favorites in the game, and that's the lead up to Rainbow Road. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would prefer a traditional 3-lap race, but this is still an amazing addition to the game that is Mario Kart World. The world map feels massive. If you're just driving around, you'll notice that it takes quite a while to make it from one end of the map to the other, somewhere around 10 minutes, and there's good diversity of scenery that is all around you. It's cartoony in its geography, but it's a joy and reminds me of all the maps I would draw as a kid. Mario Kart World is a breathtakingly beautiful game. Nintendo's art directors have learned how to make these characters whimsical again. I like the chunky look of Mario and his crew. It's cute and filled with joy. Their animations are point on as well. From the celebrations during flips and tricks to how they dance on the character select screen, and the adorable wobble at the starting line. I love this era of Mario we are in, and the level of risk they're taking by giving some personality to the art direction. The environments are also colorful and pop on screen so much. Animals and fauna are everywhere and are filled with detail that you don't want to miss. I've found myself just sitting and enjoying watching the world around me live. The cast of characters are quirky, with some super amazing costume designs. Soft Server Toadette and Vampire Waluigi hold my heart, but there's something magical about racing around as Dolphin on the Dolphin Dasher. Every costume is unique, and there will likely be at least one costume that you're a fan of too. I really love the NPC additions. Standouts are Penguin and Cow, of course, but with all of the NPCs added, they really pad out the crew. I do miss my Koopa kids, shout out to Lemmy, but it's hard not to love the opportunity to play as a sentient snowman. And the karts. I mean, it's in the name of the game, and this entry has handled karts way differently than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did. Instead of selecting through a minutia of body, wheels, and glider and mixing and matching to find the right combo, this game speeds up that experience dramatically and makes it a much cleaner experience. I really like the simplicity of picking my character, my kart, and just hitting the road for a race. It's also greatly enhanced my time in lobbies waiting on friends to pick their kart combo. The karts represented here are also stellar and unique in their designs, each one having something cool to offer aesthetically, and I'm honestly really happy about the loadout here. Knockout Tour is my favorite mode to play, and it stands out above the rest, so much so that there's merit in stating that this game should have been called Mario Kart Knockout. There's a heart-pounding excitement that can't be achieved in every mode, but it's executed beautifully here. Going in one continuous race across the world and trying to stay within the limits of the cutoff is such a thrill that needs to be experienced. Set in 6 races across the continent, this mode really shows why the game was called Mario Kart World. I believe this is Mario Kart's answer to Fortnite, and is likely going to be the main competitive mode for everyone going forward. The music is so top-notch. With nearly 200 songs, it is surprising that they all blend so beautifully between each changing track. I have a few highlights of songs and desperately want this soundtrack to make its way to Nintendo Music sooner rather than later, because in all the chaos sometimes the songs can be a little bit difficult to discern, and to top that off, there is no way to just go and listen to a specific track that you've fallen in love with. You kind of just have to hope that the song makes its way back into the playlist. I kinda just want to chill and listen to Dire Dire Doc's remix on repeat. Game chat camera usage is so fun. Pointless, but fun, and it's cool to see my friends' faces light up with joy as they throw a green shell at the back of my cart, or to see them in pain because I just sniped first place from them at the last second. It's a feature that I didn't expect to like nearly as much as I did, and I'm so glad I tried it out. Online racing has never been better from Nintendo. Legitimately. I was able to spend the better part of 11 hours on launch day in a single room with my friends and not drop due to a connection issue. The servers felt smooth, and I've never felt like I was unable to tell where my friends were due to internet lag. It was impressive, and I'm honestly surprised and delighted in every way. With all of our likes out of the way, I would like to talk about what we dislike about Mario Kart World. While this game is still a joy to play and it lends itself to an amazing time, there is still something that drives me nuts regarding the connected world element, and that's that it is a bit aimless. While the world is huge, and that's what I wanted, and there's a lot to look at, and that's a plus, there's just not a lot to do. Yes, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of P-switches and Peach medallions and question panels to drive over, race around, and discover, but they don't have the variety that I would have expected, and that keeps me from really digging into the free roam side of this game. I thought I would be getting a Forza Horizon style experience, but Mario Kart World just isn't that. And that makes this a glaring issue for the free roam experience. Most of the challenges involve collecting blue coins or careening down a pathway to make it to the goal in time or joining a secret amateur race when hitting P-switches, but they don't have a way to track your progress in a specific region concerning those, nor do they seem to be willing to take a chance with gameplay mechanics. The panels are fine to discover, but once you've driven over them and you get your decal for your vehicle customization, there's not really a whole lot of reason to revisit that. And I do enjoy finding the Peach medallions, but they are so few and far between, and they are hidden in some really tricky spots, which I do like. It's hard to really love going on the search for those. I want to love free roam, but until it's more than a collectathon, I don't anticipate spending a lot more time there. The character selection UI is atrocious. Every costume having its own character slot was a complaint that we heard from a lot of outlets early, and I'd hoped that that would change before official release. But for some reason, Nintendo continues to make poor decisions in how it handles its UI. Just give me the character, and then let me select a costume. And when the roster is so filled with tons of faces, it can sometimes be difficult to find exactly what I want. Yes, there is a sorting option, and it gets close to what I described by grouping each character and their respective costume together, but it could still be so much better. The rest of the game's user interface is clean, but this one area could use some real improvement. The fashion hunt. I really hated the experience of trying to unlock costumes in Mario Kart World. Nintendo's intent is that there is a sense of discovery, and I get that, but it is tedious and not intuitive for those who want to have every costume option unlocked from the start. There is a tracker for the outfits that are missing on a per character basis on the overworld map and in the character selection screen, but it's still kind of bad, and you have to eat a specific boost food, the food items that get thrown out from the Yoshi food stands, to get costumes unlocked, all of which are regional, and you're uncertain whether or not a specific boost food is going to unlock a costume for your favorite character or not. It's frustrating in a game that has so much collecting. On the costume note, let's talk about the RNG of NPC characters being unlocked. From the start, you get probably the best of them, Cal. You also get some of Mario's staple enemies. 14 others make up the starting roster, including Goomba, Pokey, and Piranha Plant. But to get any of the remaining 11 unlockable characters, you're reliant on Kamek transformations from a new item known as the Kamek Wand during race gameplay. The character you unlock is regional, but it is still random on whether or not a competing racer will get that item to use on you. If you get the item and use it on others, you do not unlock that character either. It's a chore, and even 35 hours in, I still haven't unlocked everyone. Battle mode should have had more than 2 modes. What's there is fun, coin runners and balloon battle, but the courses feel like an afterthought, and I honestly just want my Shine Thief mode back, please Nintendo. Finally, on the note of grouping up with friends, the game could stand to allow you to group up and take a party to public lobbies. Everything on this is private lobbies when playing with friends, and because of that, every activity you do is either sparsely populated or filled with CPU characters making up the other racer slots. Knockout Tour really suffers because of this. I would like to have my group of friends be able to join other online lobbies while we play to get a more human element involved. Final thoughts. This game, even with all of the things that I would hold against it, is still a joy to play. The online servers are amazing, and I was able to stay in a room with my friends nearly all day on launch day with 0 disconnects. Hunting for collectibles in the world is something that should be experienced with friends, as they can point out question block panels and peach medallions that they come upon as they do. However, P-switches do not appear in that mode. The races are a nearly spiritual experience, especially this edition of Rainbow Road. The hype of playing this game has not left yet, and I'm sure it won't for quite some time. At least, until a new true Nintendo single-player experience arrives. Looking at you, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Our score? A 94 out of 100.